The episode begins with Barbara enjoying a drive after a delightful evening at Wonderland Burger, a whimsical eatery inspired by Alice in Wonderland. Owned by a fellow named Jerk, pulls outside her car, she spots a man dressed as a pharaoh, loudly proclaiming himself as King Tut and demanding that everyone bow to him. In a fit of rage, he swings his staff and hits the head chef. Barbara, not one to stand back, stormed back in wielding a bat and exclaims, "You leave Miss Hudson alone, you creep!" King Tut retorts, "And what shall you do about it, lady?" The swift-swinging Barbara knocks the staff from his grasp. King Tut, "A gesture bold, my treasure stole. Now it's time I rise to claim my role. Gotham streets, my crown to wear. This kingdom is mine, I shall declare." Barbara attempts to take him down with a bat, but he anticipates her move this time, seizing her wrist and twisting it painfully as he declares, "The hour has come, you've found your role, dear. For I am King Tut, your ruler here. Now is the moment to show your grace. Bow before me and take your place." Just then, a baseball strikes the king's arms, causing him to release Barbara. Turning to see through the ball, Barbara is greeted by her childhood friend, Vicky Vale. Vicky quips, "Hey there, your highness. No need to be such a jerk. Gotham's already got enough of those." Infuriated, King Tut shouts, "How dare you!" and dashes into traffic. In a flash, Batman intervenes, tackling him to the ground, holding him with a pair of golden handcuffs. Batman calmly advises he might want to keep this false royal to Arkham. The police officer, anxious, "Of course, right away, sir," and promptly escort King Tut to Arkham. We cut to Arkham with the guy claiming to be King Tut, a straitjacket. Like in the original, Barbara asks Dr. Harley Quin can help the man. The man says, "Harley Quin," and tries to end his life once again. And he gets stopped just in time. This makes Barbara feel really worried. Scene shift to Dr. Quin's cell's office, where a man sits in a chair recounting his story. "That's what I told him, to pull himself up by the bootstraps and work harder. After a shift, I fired him to avoid paying him," he declares. Arlene struggles to mask her disgust and gently asks, "Mr. Zuko, did you feel any remorse for that?" So, "Shut your mouth, lady, I'm not done speaking. When the flying races were performing this stunt, they tragically fell and died right in front of the sun. That was my fault for skipping out on the road. But I didn't tell them that. I had too many ticket sales to worry about, and fixing it would have cost too much money and time. I even planted a knife and left some of Waylon Jones' DNA on it. And the police arrested him." Zuko chuckles at his own story. Harleen opens her mouth to respond, but he interrupts. Blah, blah, blah. "Quiet. Only speak when I allow it. After the show, I pocketed all the cash and went on a vacation. Best spot? Turns out Jones was a real criminal who had killed before. So I got away with it. This therapy is really doing wonders for me, sweetheart." Harleen removes her glasses and replies, "No, Zuko, I do not think we are making progress. I might just have to bring up a jester." But she activates the traps on Zuko's chair and drags him down to her basement. Zuko awakens, feeling regal in his attire. A reflection of his knack for manipulating and belittling others confused. He exclaims, "Where am I?" A gentle female voice from, "You are right where you belong, Zuko." As the lights brighten, he sees a woman with a white painted face, clad in a striking green and black
outfit.
The yellow in the costume was the only aspect I disliked, so I got rid of it, and a black domino mask. Scanning the room, Zuko notices others in costumes and feels the ropes binding his legs. Jester smirks, saying, "I'd love to torture you now, but I have other commitments. Butler, why don't you handle this one?" From the shadows, a butler emerges, responding with pleasure as he approaches Zuko, ready to inflict pain, perhaps even to the point of death. In the next scene, we find Roland Daggett in his office, indulging in a glass of red wine, a habit he can't seem to shake, consuming around 12 drinks daily. Suddenly, an ice knife strikes his drink, shattering it. Daggett retorts, "All right, Frost, I see you think you have had my fill, but I disagree. If Scarface had insisted we were a team, I'd have locked you all away in a test tube for good." From the shadows, Killer Frost emerges, forcefully pinning Daggett against the wall. "How about you cool it?" she snaps, a wicked grin spreading across her face. She begins to freeze him with her powers. Daggett, not one to back down, pulls out his lighter, using it to fend her off. "Looks like you could use a little warmth, Frosty." he quipped, realizing her vulnerability to fire. Killer Frost retreat, Jagged sword. What did you think to achieve with trying to freeze me? Maybe you should have stuck to culinary school instead of joining the League of Assassins. Killer Frost says, but wait, what about the whole we need to work together thing? You're right. I just have to make this look like a suicide, he says with a sadistic smile. He grabs a nice knife, aims for her throat. Suddenly, a sharpened playing card hits Daggett in the face, leaving a scar there. Daggett sees the card and notices that it is labeled Joker with a picture of a jester on it. Daggett hears a soft, yet confident and dominant female voice. Why, Pudding, didn't your mother ever teach you any manners? And the jester appears once again. Why, hello there, Roland. If I were you, I would put that knife down in about 3 seconds. Or else what, clown? The jester smiles and starts beating Daggett with a baseball bat until he starts to bleed. Daggett coughs up blood and says, who the heck? I go by Harley Quin. I would normally take you away, but you're too high profile to take without the cops catching on my trip. So I'm gonna bounce. Harley Quin and Killer Frost vanish into the night. We cut to Batman fighting some thugs inside a local bank, trying to figure out who this Harley Quin is. And during his battle, it clicks for him. Ties up the crooks and decides to investigate Dr. Quinzel's office. Notices a lot of her patients donated their money to charity before killing themselves. Batman leaves the office is left in a mess. It's clear that he was there. Clean sees the mess, says, looks like somebody might be on the way. I know just who to call. A southern female voice answers the phone call. Well, hey there, Doc. Got you ringing me, darling? Got some more work troubles on your mind? Lenses kind of. Somebody might be onto my scheme. I want him to find out, but I need more time. No need to fret, Doc. I can keep him occupied. Good. I have a few things I need to do before I go on my next crusade. Some clues and pre-recorded messages. I need you to place them, okay? Sutter whistles. No problem, sugar. Harleen leaves. Barbara finds a place in a mess. Decides to ask Harleen about it in the morning. After a rather tense trial, Barbara encounters Harleen outside the courtroom. Harleen exclaims, "Hey, Babs, nice to see you." Barbara replies, "Hey, mind if we chat at Wonderland Burger? I have a few questions to ask." "Of course, fire away." Barbara continues, "There was this guy who attempted suicide and mentioned the name Harley Quin right before it happened. Do you have any idea why?" Harleen looks concerned and says, no, I heard about it. It's truly terrible. I imagine what life is. But I'm hungry now." "Alright, let's head to Wonderland Burger." Harleen cheers. "Yay! I heard Montoya and Vicky were gonna be there. I'll race you!" and dashes off. Scene shifts to see Montoya out on a date, and naturally Montoya agrees. We cut to golf course. Jack Napier is working a morning shift, trying to make some extra cash. His company is funded by Rewritten, but not even Jack Napier knows this. Jack looks at a picture of his young son, smiles with his eyes, and yet he can't seem to smile with his face. He wishes that he could spend more time with his young son. Since the death of Jack's wife, Jack has had to work extra jobs just to support his son overseas. In fact, he only gets to see his son once a month. With enough money, he plans to leave an organized crime life behind him and live far away from Gotham. To do so, he wants to leave on good terms with Ford, as doing otherwise could lead to an early grave. Ted Core, the colleague, strides in and remarks, "Jack, I think I just spotted Bruce Wayne here." Jack, clearly stressed, replies coldly, "And I see him in the papers every day, Ted." But Ted insists. "Oh, you really don't want to meet him face to face? Not even a bit." Jack replies, "No, just get back to studying that cyan scarab you found, or whatever it is." Meanwhile, Ted notices Bruce Wayne entering the security room. A confident woman named Barbara Minerva approaches Bruce and says, "Excuse me, what brings you to the security room?" Bruce replies gently, "I have some broken cameras in a suitcase that I plan to fix, and to upgrade a few of your cameras free of charge." Minerva responds, "Sounds good to me, go for it." While Bruce works on the cameras, he also focuses on upgrading some gadgets and investigating Dr. Quinzel. He discovers that several of her recent patients have gone missing, which raises alarms. Suddenly, hears glass shatter and terrified screams. Bruce quickly suits up and leaps into the vent, ready to confront some criminals. As Batman navigates the dock, he overhears a southern accented woman say, "Now y'all listen here. Why don't you just hand over the cash and a few of those fancy tech gadgets? Otherwise, I reckon I'll have to show you why they call me Tiger Moth down at the ranch." Batman swiftly makes his way through the vents and drops down. Find a blonde woman clad in a domino mask, cowgirl hat, tiger striped dress with wings, and black tape around her ankles. This must be Tiger Moth. Batman fixes an intense gaze on Tiger Moth with a cheeky grin. She retorts, "What am I supposed to be scared, darling?" Batman replies, "You will be." They both assume their fighting stance. Tiger Moth launches a flying kick. Batman effortlessly sidesteps her attack, seizing her leg. He hurls her towards a desk. The impact is enough to rattle her, but she remains conscious. With a swift motion, Tiger Moth glides forwards with her wings unraveling and lands a punch on Batman, just swinging back to push her away. Tiger Moth strikes again, only for Batman to catch her arm this time. Delivers a solid punch to her midsection, causing her to bend over in pain. "You just hit a lady," she gasped. Batman responds, "Justice is blind to gender." As Tiger Moth swamps unconscious, Batman cuffs her while securing her. He spots a tape recorder fixed behind one of her wings. Curious, he retrieves it and presses the play button. A soft yet assertive female voice fills the air. "Congrats, Dark Knight. You thwarted one of my heists. The next one will be trickier. Here's a clue. What's the best card in poker? Keep that in mind. You might prevent the next battle." Batman easily puts it together. The ace is the strongest card in poker. Therefore, the next crime will be at the Ace chemical plant. We shift to the dinner date between Montoya and Harleen, who are enjoying a lovely meal, unaware that Barbara and Vicky are observing them from a distance. Conversation flows between Harleen and Montoya, touching on topics like ice skating, psychology, and a recent spate of robbery. Chemistry is palpable, while Vicky finds her conversation and connections adorable, while Barbara remains skeptic. Sweet moment, Harleen leans in to kiss Montoya, showcasing their affection. Suddenly, a husky man who resembles an egg approaches their table, greeting them with a chilling, "Hello, ladies. Are you enjoying your night?" Harleen, taken aback, stares. It's going great, mister." The man introduces himself ominously as Humpty Dumpty. Montoya utters, "Yikes," under her breath. Vicky instinctively reaches for Barbara's gun, but Barbara quickly stops her, whispering, "Wait." Humpty Dumpty leans in closer, his gaze fixated on the women. He instinctively recoils. A sudden crash. He slams his fist onto the table, shattering any bellows. "Don't mess with a boss business. Stop sticking your nose where it doesn't belong, or else I will take you apart and put you back together in a box."
Vicky Vale urgently yells,
"Barbara, we need to call the police right now." Barbara hesitates, concerned. "But what about you, Vic?" "I'll keep him busy," Vicky reassures her. Without another second to lose, Barbara dashes towards the bathroom, reach out to the authorities and her father. In the meantime, Vicky seizes a wooden chair and swings it at Humpty Dumpty, shouting, "Hey, egg boy, you leave him alone!" She points to Harleen and Montoya. Humpty Dumpty turns to face her, his massive figure looming over Vicky. He replies, "Fine, you'll just have to go first. Don't worry, I'll put you back together eventually." He slams her against the wall and yanks at her arm, as if trying to tear it off. Montoya fires at Humpty Dumpty's arm, causing him to release Vicky with a furious glare. Humpty Dumpty stopped. "You should not have done that, my lady," before charging at her with deadly intent in his eye. Humpty Dumpty grabs Montoya and tosses her aside with a smug, "Who else wants some?" Harleen grabs Montoya's arm, guides her to safety, telling her to grab back up and that she has a plan. Harleen hides in a hidden passageway that she had installed in case somebody were to find out her secret too early. She changes into her Harley Quin outfit, on a face paint and domino mask. She says, "It seems like I have no choice." She grabs a baseball bat and a stun gun and crawls through the vents. We next cut to Barbara Gordon in a bathroom, calling her father, Jim Gordon, letting him know about the crazed psycho calling himself Humpty Dumpty. Jim sends a group of officers to the restaurant. Batman hears this on the police radio, thinks back to what happened with Catwoman at the museum, and he remembers she would have died. He stood there and did nothing. Does not do anything about this. Loads of innocent people can die. Batman quickly drives to the restaurant, putting his Batmobile on maximum overdrive. We return to the restaurant where Humpty Dumpty looms over Vicky, ready to crush her skull with his foot. He sneers, "Well, doll, you had a good run. You weren't exactly my target, but this'll teach you not to be a hero in the next life." Just then, a jolt of electricity hits him from behind. The bolt keeps him from collapsing. He slowly turns, confronts his assailant, spots a woman clad in a green and black jester outfit. Harley Quin. "Well, you weren't on the guest list, little clown," he growls. Harley retorts, "Excuse me, I am a jester, not a clown. There's a big difference." Humpty, frustrated, slams his fist onto the ground where she stood, but she's already dodged out of the way. "You wanna play? Come on, let's play!" she taunted, delivering a swift kick to his face. A crack from her baseball bat. Fit of rage, Humpty Dumpty snatches a chair and hurls it at Harley, finally landing a hit. He then reaches for a gun, intent on finishing her off, but a bullet grazes his shoulders, forcing him to drop the weapon, and to see Barbara Gordon, a gun, trembling in her hands. A menacing crack of his neck, Humpty growls, "Oh, you're in for it now, princess." Humpty Dumpty grabs Barbara by the arm, and Barbara struggles to escape his grasp, and kicks Humpty Dumpty in the face, sticking her high heels in his eyes. This makes Humpty Dumpty drop Barbara and start screaming and smashing everything in a close proximity. Barbara starts to crawl away from Humpty Dumpty, actually afraid of what the psycho might do. Harley Quinn gets up and delivers a spinning kick to Humpty Dumpty's skull, knocking Barbara's shoes out of his eyes, causing him to bleed. He says, "How dare you!" and grabs her by the throat. "I'll send you to the underworld, you cake face!" He gets cut off by the Batmobile, hitting him at a high speed, knocking him back and making him drop Harley Quinn to the side. Batman does a front flip and glares at Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty spits up a bit of blood and says, "Batman, you've been a thorn in the boss's side for far too long." Humpty Dumpty gets up and wipes the blood from his face and charges towards the Crusader with a primal roar. Batman glares at Humpty Dumpty and kicks him in the chest. Humpty Dumpty says, "Is that all you got?" and throws more punches towards Batman, yet one of them lands. Batman is way quicker and more nimble. Batman counters Humpty Dumpty with a freeze grenade, freezing both of his own, kicks Humpty Dumpty in the chest, stunning him, throws some knockout gas at him. Batman ties Dumpty up for the police to grab. Batman leaves to go to Ace Chemicals and figure out if the theft has already happened or if he still has time to stop it. Harley Quinn also leaves, using another secret passageway she has set up.
Well, it looks like we're out of time. Don't worry, I'll have part 2 out next week. Please subscribe, that would be really helpful. If I get to 69 subs by the end of the month, I will make a review series on Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.